Hello and welcome to Politics Tonight, where we dig and go beyond the headlines for informed analysis of major political stories in Africa's most populous country, Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. With about 93 days to the conduct of the 2023 general election, the electoral process is still being dogged by legal tosses. In Zamfara State, the Sokoto division of the Court of Appeal has struck out the appeal of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) against nullification of its governorship candidate in Zamfara State for lack of merit. The presiding judge, Justice Muhammad Shuaibu, described the appeal as a mere academic exercise that cannot be entertained by the court. Also on the program, the name chosen by the G5 governors of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for their group, it has now been challenged as the Integrity Support International Association has called on them to drop the name Integrity Group. The national coordinator of the association, Abdulmalik Salawu, is threatening legal action against the governor, Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, and members of the G5 group over an alleged trademark infringement. And on the interview segment for today, we take a look at the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, and the battle for Northern Nigeria in the 2023 elections with the Secretary of the Board of Trustees of the party, Buba Galadima. Welcome to Politics Tonight. Stay with us. Let's begin in Zamfara State. The Sokoto division of the Court of Appeal has struck out the appeal of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) against nullification of its governorship candidate in Zamfara for lack of merit. The presiding judge, Justice Muhammad Shuaibu, described the appeal as a mere academic exercise that cannot be entertained by the court. Justice Shuaibu said the appellants have lost the right to appeal by proceeding to conduct a fresh primary election in compliance with the order of the lower court. The judge therefore upheld the decision of the lower court that nullified the party's primary election, which produced Dauda Lawal as governorship candidate due to some irregularities. It will be recalled that the Federal High Court in Guzo nullified the PDP governorship primary over non-compliance with the Electoral Act 2022, after which another primary was conducted by the party. The name chosen by the G5 governors of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for their group is now being challenged as the Integrity Support International Association has called on them to drop the name Integrity Group. The national coordinator of the association, Abdulmalik Salawu, is threatening legal action against Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State and members of the G5 group over an alleged trademark infringement. Salawu has advised the group to desist from using the name Integrity Group, as it is the name registered by his association with the Corporate Affairs Commission for over 6 years. The association stresses that their objective is to support credible candidates with integrity, irrespective of their political parties, and will not want their names to be tainted.
To urge the press to help me convey this message to them clearly, that they should please, unless they want to be part and parcel of this our struggle, let them choose a befitting name for themselves as an antagonistic group. We don't know them, they are not members of our association, and they have no right to claim this name, because that is why you have to register a name before you give it to yourself, particularly public name like this. We are strongly saying they should leave that name for the interest of Nigerian people. If they fail, we will go to court to stop them.
Thank you.
And anywhere they parade themselves as such, they will be held accountable to law.
Now let's take a short break, and when we come back, it will be time to speak with the Secretary of the Board of Trustees of the new Nigeria People's Party, Buba Galadima. Please stay with us. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. We're still
Hello.
with you. We're still with you, but we're still trying to check the connection and make sure we get it right.
No problem.
All right, sir. All right. Welcome back. You're still watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. Now to our interview with the guest of the day. In his political career, Buba Galadima has played the role of an ally and a foe to many leaders in Nigeria at different times. At the return of democracy in May 1999, Galadima became a chieftain of one of the opposition parties in the country, the then All Nigeria People's Party, ANPP. In January 2011, Galadima was elected as the National Secretary of the CPC, the party which became the platform for President Muhammadu Buhari to contest the 2011 presidential election. He was also the National Campaign Secretary of the Buhari Organization, which was formed in 2006. Buba Galadima was one of the 9 signatories that signed the merger agreement by the political parties that came together to form the All Progressives Congress APC in 2014, which included the Congress for Progressive Change, CPC, All Nigeria People's Party, ANPP, and Action Congress of Nigeria, ACN, and a faction of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, in 2017. He fell out with President Buhari, his longtime ally, and defected to the People's Democratic Party, PDP. He became the spokesperson of the PDP and chairman of the Mobilization Committee of the Conference of Nigeria Political Parties, CNPP. Buba Galadima is now the secretary of the Board of Trustees of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, which has former governor of Kano State, Rabi Kwakwanso, as presidential candidate. I am now joined by the Secretary of the Board of Trustees of the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Buba Galadima. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's start with your relationship with some of your longtime political allies, and this time, President Buhari. A lot of people would want to know why you parted ways with him. What really went wrong?
Well, I hope you know that this is politics. Once you are a principled man, definitely you would not succumb to any type of double dealing. And I think I have been proved right that I left the general and for a good cause. And when he's even in power, had I left him before getting into power, I could have been called several names. But I left when he is in a position to do whatever he wishes with a stroke of pen in this country. So I want to say that we parted ways on the basis of principles. And I stand by that, and everything I have said about him had come to pass, and Nigerians are my witness.
All right, so many have also argued that you stopped supporting him because he did not patronize you, and in spite of your lack of support for him, he was re-elected in 2019.
Well, he wasn't elected in 2019. You know that better. He used his position as president of the country and helped himself. Because even before the election, he told the entire world when he was asked whether he could congratulate the person who wins the election. And he told the stunning world that he should congratulate himself because he has already won the election. And if you look at the issues before the court, when the presidential candidate of the PDP took him to the tribunal, you could have known that he was not qualified even to contest as a candidate in the elections that he declared himself the winner. So, as far as I'm concerned, he knows and I know that he's just a usurper in the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
But then INEC declared him winner. PDP went to court to contest that election, and President Buhari still won in court.
Correct. Correct. Does anything done by INEC or the courts is the reality and the truth on the ground? We had to accept the judgment of the courts because we have no other place to go except to God. So God is the final arbiter, and I am convinced that Atiku Abubakar won that election, and it was taken away from him. Nobody can change that from me, only God. When I reach there and God tells me that, look, in reality, it was Buhari that won that election, not Atiku. But that is not the issue. Let's go into current contemporary issues for our country. Buhari is gone. We are praying for him such that
all right, so
he
now that you
concludes the remaining of his tenure safely and leaves the stage.
All right, now that you mentioned Atiku Abubakar, you supported Atiku in 2019, but now you're with Kwakwanso. Why didn't you stick with Atiku Abubakar?
No. What you didn't understand, and I have said that times over, that at that time, 2019, I led the team of reformed APC, a breakaway of the APC. And some of us joined the PDP, and we had an alliance with the PDP, and so that we could bring a credible government into Nigeria. And I believed that at that time, not Atiku, but any Nigerian would have been better than the present president. So I have not yet changed my mind. No, I never joined the PDP, as you mentioned. It's because we had an alliance, and I was made one of the spokesmen of the PDP.
All right, let's talk about your party now. As a chieftain of the New Nigeria People's Party, let's rate the party's chances in this coming election, especially in northern Nigeria.
I don't understand the question.
As a chieftain of the NNPP, I would like you to rate the party's chances in the coming election, especially in northern Nigeria.
You mean you have any doubt that NNPP would emerge victorious? Is there any doubt to that Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is the candidate to beat in this election of 2023?
You would have to tell
Can't
Nigerians
you read
how?
the handwriting on the wall? Look, let me tell you that Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is the candidate to beat for several reasons. First, he is the most experienced of all the candidates. Two, he's the most intelligent of all the candidates. Three, that he's the most educated of all the candidates. Four, that he has a record of performance while in public office that is not paralleled by any of the candidates that are today in the field. And I believe Nigerians like themselves. Having come out of this government, I don't think we can gamble again. We are looking for a person with the quality, with intellect, with the record of, with good health that can manage our affairs. The era of trial and error is gone. So we are looking for the best, and in Kwankwaso, we have the best. And to support him, he is the most popular candidate in this country today, because I believe that if there is a fair, transparent, and level playing ground in this election of 2023, Kwankwaso would emerge the winner because he can at least get 85% of the votes of northern Nigeria. That is our record. And we have made incursions into the south, because we can take over Ebonyi, we can take over Akwa Ibom, we can take over Cross River, we can even take over Delta, we can take over Edo, we can take over Oyo, and in Lagos, only God knows who will win the election. So nothing stops Senator Kwankwaso from becoming the president of Nigeria except God. We have done our arithmetic, we have done our calculation as engineers, and we know that he's the person to beat.
All right, so from records, your party has absorbed many defectors from the APC and PDP in Kano. Do you think this is enough for Kwankwaso to match other contestants like Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Obi?
You said Kano. Hello?
Yes, I said Kano.
What did you say about Kano?
NNPP, that your party has absorbed many defectors from the APC and PDP in Kano. So I'm asking, do you think this is enough for Kwankwaso to match other contestants like Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Obi?
I think you are living in your own world. You don't know this country. And I can help educate you more. As far as Kano is concerned, forget about all the rhetorics of those charlatans that talk about Kano. Nobody can get 5% of the votes of Kano. And I challenge you, and if there is anybody that says that he can get 25% of the votes, let's place a gamble with him. So, as far as Kano is concerned, is out of the question. And I appreciate that Nigerians associate Kano with Kwankwaso, because for a politician, you have to have a base. And if Kwankwaso has Kano as base, with over 6.9 million registered voters, and that is his starting point, it means that he can now poach all over the country and make up for the figure and become the president of Nigeria. Why should I reject a person with such a base as Kano and go for the unknown politicians that have no base?
Okay, so taking a cue from your last point, can NNPP replicate Kwankwaso's popularity in Kano outside of that state?
Outside where?
Outside of Kano State. Can NNPP replicate Kwankwaso's popularity outside of Kano State?
Have you seen Kwankwaso in Lagos? I believe you are talking to me from Lagos.
Yes, I am.
Can you bring the film? Just bring that film that Kwankwaso went to Alabarago and bring the film, because I know, I saw your reporters of Kwankwaso's arrival at Ikorodu where he opened his office. And show me and compare with any candidate that has come to Lagos and gathered such a crowd.
Okay, now let's move on to some other discussions. Now, I'd like to know, why did your party treat Senator Shekarau so badly? Because you didn't concede positions to him until he left your party in anger. What actually went wrong? No,
Shekarau didn't leave our party in anger. I think he's got a better offer. You know, there is a Hausa saying, and I don't know how to describe it. Duk wanda ya kona rumbunsa ya san inda toka take kudi. Meaning that whoever set fire on his ban of means that he knows where he will sell the, what do you call it, toka, sell it. That is what Shekarau did. Look, for anybody to be given a ticket as of Kano Senatorial District in NNPP, you can lie on your bed without anything, and a certificate of return would be brought to you. And for such a person to forfeit this, definitely you find out he must have gotten more than what he could have earned as senator for 4 years, all the allowances for 4 years, all the egunjes for 4 years, and all the constituency projects for 4 years. If he hasn't got that, I don't think he could have thrown out that privilege. Nobody in Nigeria. And what we want to know, the promises made to him, were they fulfilled? That is what we would ask. But let's leave it. Time will tell.
All right. So
today in Kano, it is no more the issue of Professor Risqua. It is the Beaver's machine that will count the votes. So nobody has the privilege to write figures. We of course know that Senator Kabiru Gaya went on the air to tell the world that he wants the BVC machine to be put aside because in his own constituency of Gaya, there is no network. And I want to use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that the Beaver's machine does not need a network to transmit results, that it can automatically do that with a battery. Therefore, nobody should deceive Nigerians that the issue of network would stop the Beavers from sending results of the election. So, and this was why at a point they put so much pressure on government for either the INEC chairman to recapitulate or they remove him. Unfortunately, what they don't understand is that there is an ECOWAS protocol that Nigeria has signed, which says that in any election in West Africa, nobody will alter the law 6 months to the election. They never knew that because they don't understand what it means about law. They only have the privilege to be in the National Assembly.
All right, let's talk about Peter Obi, who happens to be a factor in this election as he continues to gain popularity. How much of a threat is he to your party?
What? Hello?
Let's talk about Peter Obi, who happens to be a huge factor in this election as he continues to gain so much popularity, especially among
Listen.
the youth.
Peter Obi is doing a great job. He's doing a great job for us. Just hold on. Peter Obi is poaching the Southeast from the PDP completely. So if you take away the Southeast from the PDP, you take away the South-South from the PDP, and you take away the North by Kwankwaso from the PDP. Where does PDP stand? They have no chance. In fact, the PDP is not on this ballot for this election. So as far as Peter Obi is concerned, he is doing a very, very good job for us.
All right, so
because it is what will propel Kwankwaso to be the president of Nigeria first ballot.
All right, so Kwankwaso wanted him as running mate before the coalition talk collapsed. Tell us what went wrong.
Well, I also want to say that I chaired that meeting. And what went wrong was simple. Every side wanted their candidate to be the presidential candidate and the other one to be vice. And we advised, and we are right. Had we agreed for Kwankwaso to be the presidential candidate and for Obi to be the running mate, it means that this election could have been over by now. But unfortunately, they didn't see what we have seen. Now they are seeing it. They are now seeing it. So it is an unfortunate situation created by people who did not understand politics. So it is now, that is why this struggle and this work for us to win the election. If not, if the two had come together, I don't think there would have been any case of election in Nigeria in 2023. They could have been even declared before the election. But you know that as politicians, we will continue to talk to each other, any group, so that because INEC in its wisdom has already discovered through intelligence that there is likelihood that no candidate will win first ballot. But this is now. What they don't understand, INEC does not understand, is that all the three parties, the Labour Party, the PDP, and the APC, have reached their peak. They are coming down. It is only the NNPP that is gaining momentum to move forward. Therefore, we believe that by end of January, everybody in Nigeria would know who would be the winner of this election.
All right, so you mentioned the possibility of a runoff election in the presidential election. How prepared is NNPP?
No, I didn't say so. INEC said so. That is why they are making preparations.
All right, so
but
if
that
that
is also
happens,
a misplaced priority because it is our belief that we can win first ballot.
But then, if that happens, how prepared is your party?
Kwankwaso will come number one because he will have majority votes, and whosoever comes second, maybe with a spread, we will go for a rerun. This is why we don't even need 25% of 2/3 of the states, because at the end of the day, if the elections become inconclusive, it is now simple majority. And as the lion of the most populous section of this country, Kwankwaso becomes president.
All right, then. Now, let's talk about some of the supports that has been coming in for your presidential candidates, one of which is Governor Wike recently pledged logistics support for Kwankwaso. Do you see something more serious coming in that direction?
No. You know, Governor Wike is one Nigerian that you must hate to love. Whether you like Wike or not, he is such a fighter. He is such a man of his words that his words are his bond. And if he says he's going to do this, you can take it to the bank. It is our hope that Wike and his group will see reason and support the winning candidate, because all the others, he knows better than any other person that they cannot measure up to Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. He knows that. However, it is our belief that eventually he and his group may have no alternative but to support Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. That is our prayers.
You're supporting a northerner to succeed President Buhari, who is also from the north. I would like to have your position on zoning and rotation of power.
You see, you press men, sometimes when you ask certain questions, you make me laugh. My position on zoning, maybe you don't even understand the name of our party. New Nigeria People's Party. That is the name. We are not talking of primordial sentiments, of religion, of tribe, of zone, of where one comes from. We are going for the best. And after all, let me close this matter once and for all. The Supreme Court has ruled that there is nothing in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that recognizes zoning, that the President of Nigeria can come from anywhere. And this was a decision handed over by the Supreme Court about 2 weeks ago, when some people took Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to court, that he violated the zoning principles of the PDP. And the Supreme Court held that the constitution of the PDP cannot override the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Please, this issue of zoning should be removed from any constitution of any political party. It has no place in our law.
Okay.
And let me also say, that if the president comes from the north or from the south, what has it got to do with me? I am looking for the man that will make Nigeria a better place for all Nigerians, not a tribal man. Is Buhari not from northern Nigeria? Is he not a Muslim like me? You can call me Hausa if you want, even though I'm Bade. Of what use is Buhari's presidency to the people of Katsina, where he comes from? Where even yesterday, people were abducted. Even yesterday, people were killed in the villages. Of what use? Let me tell you that if Nigerians will agree, I will suggest that we go back to the King of England to send a vassal to rule Nigeria so that things would be put in a better perspective.
All right, so would you then rule out the Constitution's position on federal character principle?
What does federal character principle say? I participated in the Constitution, in the Constituent Assembly of 1987, Constitutional Conference of 1994, in the National Jonathan's National Conference of 2014. I participated in that. What does the federal character principle say? Tell me, you.
It supports zoning and rotation of power.
So is the federal character principle bigger than the Constitution of Nigeria?
It's also in the Constitution.
Which one takes precedence?
You should tell me.
I said the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled. Are you suggesting that you want to upturn the decision of the Supreme Court? Is that what you are telling me? Please, if you want to be president of Nigeria, be a Nigerian. Go and look for votes of other Nigerians to support you. You can't hide behind the issue of tribe. You can't hide behind the issues of religion. You can't hide the issue behind section. Go and look for other Nigerians, as we are doing, to make you become president.
All right, so you once heard
After all,
running. All right. Please go ahead.
You said?
Please go ahead. All right.
Hello?
You once had a running battle with INEC over election outcome. How will you rate the Constitution's readiness to deliver a credible 2023 general election?
We are running with INEC for?
You once had a running battle with INEC over election outcome. I would like you to rate the Commission's readiness to give us a credible election in 2023.
Well, thank God that this INEC this time has shown, for now, I can say that INEC is on the right path. What we wouldn't understand or we wouldn't know, because I'm not a soothsayer, is what INEC will do tomorrow. But so far, having conducted elections in Ekiti, having conducted elections in Oshun, it seems like INEC is improving. And with the use of the beavers, we hope that there would not be hanky-panky in the elections of 2023. And I will urge INEC to continue in this. And I will also use this opportunity to appeal to the chairman of INEC that no official of government should come to him and try to pressurize him that the president has said this or the president has said that. Should anybody come to him, let the chairman of INEC ask that person to ask the president to phone the chairman of INEC as to what he wants to do. And I will also want to use the same opportunity to appeal to the security agencies, especially the police and the soldiers, that they should never allow themselves to be used by partisan politicians in the name of Mr. President. If the president, as the commander-in-chief, wants to intervene in electoral matters, let him use his own mouth and tell the military commanders what he wants to do. Because we know, as a fact, that some people hide behind the inability of the president to reach to people and say things in the name of the president. That is not true. And if the president is, because the president has already told the world that he wants to leave a legacy of fair, transparent, and credible election, and that he does not care who wins that election. Therefore, INEC should take note, and all INEC staff should take note that nobody should talk to them in the name of the president. And the police and the army should also take note of that, because the world is watching, the international community is watching, and if there is any infraction in that, it means those who did it must be held responsible.
All right, we'll get back to election matters, but let's quickly talk about insecurity. You once called for a declaration of emergency rule in some states to stop killing and maiming of citizens. What else can Nigeria do to have lasting peace?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me loud and clear? I want us to talk about...
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, I want us to talk about insecurity. You once called for a declaration of emergency rule in some states to stop the killing and maiming of citizens. So I'm asking, what else can Nigeria do to have lasting peace?
Justice. 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 When there is justice, there will be peace. How do you expect to have peace when one individual at a go with a stroke of pen can steal over 100 billion naira? And those kind of people, when you investigate them, they have stolen over 1 trillion in the last 7 years. This is injustice. All this insecurity we are facing is because 1 or 2 people steal our commonwealth, and majority of us have nothing to eat. And mind you that once this stomach has nothing inside, somebody will be forced to do what is unimaginable.
Okay, so let's talk about your battle with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. What really happened?
Whose battle?
Your battle with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission.
Did they tell you they arrested me?
There were stories that some houses...
I think you are referring to other people who are putting dollars inside their pocket, not Buba Galadima.
There were reports that some houses belonging to you were confiscated.
No, then this is a misplaced question. It is AMCON, not EFCC, please. That is also political. That is also political. But then it's not EFCC, it's AMCON.
All right, but then it's okay that you're giving some clarification on the issue. Okay, so as someone who participated
you want a clarification?
1994, 1995...
It's okay, the clarification is simple. I applied for a loan to import fertilizer, and the fertilizer was supposed to be the collateral. The fertilizer never came. I never took 1 penny. 1 penny. If they have evidence that I took 1 penny and used it for my personal use, let them present that evidence. They just came after about 8 years and said that I borrowed it on paper, and there was an accruing interest amounting to 349 million. So they just came and seized every property that they assumed belonged to me. They never took any of my properties. It's not my own. I don't have a house of my own. So that's the explanation.
All right.
But it's political. There is nothing that they can do with Buba Galadima, let me assure you.
All right. Now, Governor Ganduje says Kwakwanso and Senator Shekarau are political nomads who lose supporters when they move from Party A to Party B. I would like to have your reaction to that.
Hello?
Hello. Now, Governor Ganduje, if you can hear me, Governor Ganduje says Kwakwanso and Senator Shekarau are political nomads who lose supporters when they move from one party to another. Let me have your reaction to that. All right, looks like we lost connection with engineer Buba Galadima. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. All right, sir. We're still with you, and please, like my producer said, kindly do not touch your Bluetooth, as it may be a reason why we're disconnecting.
It's okay, fine.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, stand by. We're coming to you shortly, sir. Welcome back to Politics Tonight. We still have engineer Buba Galadima with us. Before we went on that break, I wanted to get your reaction on Governor Ganduje's opinion. He says Kwakwanso and Senator Shekarau are political nomads who lose supporters when they move from one party to another.
Well, maybe he's right, because it is a case of a cattle calling pot black. And I think Ganduje should be a little bit fair to his supposedly tribe, because he himself is a nomad. He is claiming to be a Bororo, and you have to find out what is Bororo before you talk about that. I don't want to join issues with Ganduje, because for us, he's not an issue. So joining an issue with him just promotes him. For us, he is nothing. He's just waiting for his remaining days in office. So he can say anything. And at least me, in my culture, I wouldn't bite the hand that fed me.
All right, so you once called for the reform of DSS. Do you still share that sentiment?
Who?
You once called for the reform of DSS. Do you still share that position now?
When? I think you didn't investigate well about me. But I have a lot to say about the DSS. But I did not call for that. I have my own opinion about the DSS.
Do you believe? So do you think the DSS needs to be reformed?
Everything in Nigeria needs to be reformed. That's why we are calling for a new Nigeria.
All right, then let's get back to election matters. What do you think will influence voting in this coming 2023 elections?
Competence, capacity, record of performance.
Okay.
And there is only one person with that quality. And you have seen that we have the best blueprint that we authored ourselves. Kwankwaso authored every line of that 163 pages of the blueprint. All the others hired consultants in US, in UK, and France to write their blueprint for Nigerians. I don't think any Oyoboma knows the problem of Nigeria more than we Nigerians. So because they have surplus money that they did not labor to find, they can spend that money in fabricating issues for us. So as far as we are concerned, we've got the blueprint to take Nigeria to the highest level so that we can reach those countries, Indonesia, India, Malaysia, China, Dubai, with whom Nigeria started in the 60s. Because the problem of Nigeria is the problem of leadership. And Kwankwaso is the only man with the capacity to take decision and the most intelligent. And if there is any candidate that doubts that, I will challenge that candidate to a public town hall meeting with Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and you will now know that Kwankwaso is better than all of them.
So you talked about New Nigeria, but you, Kwankwaso, and other members of the NNPP have been part of the process. What new thing are you bringing on board?
We've been part of the process. We left because the process is not up to our expectation. That is why we opted for a new Nigeria based on modernity, not primordial sentiments. That is the reason. If not, we would have stayed with them. You know the problem of these people in APC and PDP. When you want to provide drinking water to the community, all of them would tell you that, look, instead of drinking water, give me money to build to drill borehole in my compound. If you want to provide electricity to the villages, they would rather take money to buy generators for themselves. So they are anti-people. And this election is about the people and them. That is why being part of the people, being trusted by the people, being representatives of the people, we will get the highest number of votes from every deprived and oppressed Nigerian.
Okay, so if there is only one party like you claimed, which is your party, share with us how your party intends to defeat insecurity in Nigeria.
Oh, so it means you didn't read our blueprint. Had you read our blueprint, you could have known that we are the only people with the solution to insecurity in Nigeria.
Yes,
because
I would like to have the solution.
That every problem of Nigeria comes from insecurity. So we have to tackle the issue of insecurity at the first to go. That is why we wanted to increase the number of the armed forces from about 250 to 1 million. We want to increase the number of police from 350 to 1 million, such that we will take all the ungoverned spaces in Nigeria, such that we will now govern every inch of Nigeria must be retrieved from the hands of criminals and bandits. It is when we do that that the economy can pick up. People can go doing their normal businesses. People can go to the farms. People can do whatsoever they want to do. Without insecurity, that would never see the light of day. This is why security is the #1 issue in our blueprint. And nobody among all the candidates have got the kind of solution that we are talking about in order to retrieve all ungoverned areas under criminals and bandits in Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, Engineer Buba Galadima, Secretary of the Board of Trustees of the New Nigeria People's Party. Thank you very much for coming on the program tonight. Thank you very much. I should let you go now.
Thank you very much for having me, and I'm looking forward to being called again to address the nation.
All right, thank you. And that marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. We thank you very much for being part of this tonight. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Goodbye.